Sorry for the interruption, everyone. We're going to go for the next group, which is the Dutch lady. No, welcome. You're going to be with Suppiah, and I have a clicker for you. If you just pass me that, you can see. Yeah. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nadira Nasution from Dutch Lady Milk Industries Berhad, also known as DLMI. Now, DLMI is a subsidiary of Friesland Campina, one of the largest dairy companies with more than 150 years of Dutch dairy heritage and expertise. Now, DLMI has a rich legacy of nourishing Malaysians since 1963. And today, DLMI is a 600-strong company that offers an extensive range of delicious and halal and quality dairy products distributed nationwide so that we can help Malaysians stay nourished. Now, COVID-19 has certainly redefined the way we work, right? And as we transition from that crisis mode and begin to plan for recovery, we notice an opportunity to actually embed a permanent new way of working through a hybrid model. Yeah, and not just talking about working from home. It's about reshaping the way we work. And with that, we introduced the workplace transformation model, in which this is developed on a basis that our employees can be connected from anywhere. And also to blend in the physical utility of our office as a place for collaboration, and also to give the capability to work from anywhere else. So our main focus is to ensure that our employees stay safe, stay connected, engage, and most importantly, maintain the culture of appreciation. So with that, to maximize our team's productivity, we devised a flexible working schedule in which 2 days are spent in the office and 3 days can be spent remotely. And to empower that transformation, we introduced our way of working enabler and monthly subsidy. This is to support the purchase of home personal office and also to continue empowering the connectivity of our employees. And also, on top of that, DLMI introduces Focus Friday, in which all Friday afternoons are free from any meetings, so that our employees can tie up loose ends, and just relax and enjoy their weekend. Now, to create an energized work environment, we conducted virtual fitness session, wellness talk, and also we collaborated with MUC to organize free health screening for all our employees. And also, we drove continuous communication, via email and notice board, providing productivity hacks and self-care tips so that to remind our employees to take care of their mental health. Now, last year we introduced Happiness Corner, in which our employees get to enjoy free flow of vanilla ice creams using our Dutch Lady product, and also free flow of coffee. And in between breaks and shift, our employees in the production area get to use the game room, which is to just escape from their daily grind and just decompress. Now, we also organize many engagement activities in which serve as a platform for our people to collaborate and also foster a sense of belongingness across all business units. Now, these engagement activities are mostly done physically and also virtually, in line with our workforce transformation model. Now, to further accelerate our people's well-being, the DLMI rolled out psychological safety session in which to foster trust and connectedness with our employees. We also introduced employee assistance programs through Naluri, so it's an accessible approach to mental health and well-being through apps and also Careline. And lastly, to to ensure that we always have an open and two-way communication, we ensure that we always listen to our employees via retros and pulse surveys and also focus group to identify the needs and also channel our investment to what mattered to our people. Yeah. So in conclusion, that this new way of working is a continuous innovation. We at DLMI always learning and working towards providing a flexible, inclusive, and the best for our people. So, as we believe, it's essential to have an empowered workforce to continue adding value to the business and the community. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now going to move on to the Q&A, so the judges can start. We have a microphone for you. If you'd like.
Thank you so much. Maybe I'm the first one to take the floor. My name is Michiel. I'm from the Netherlands Embassy here in Kuala Lumpur. Thanks for the presentation. I would like to ask a question on how the employees were involved in making this approach to flexible working, and how their inputs are taken on board as well.
Yeah. Thank you for the questions. So what we do constantly is do focus group very frequently, and also do surveys and through retros and pulse surveys from all this data that we collected. Then we also discuss in the management and also include all the managerial level team to actually give feedback directly from the team. So the manager level normally gathers all the information that they get, what's the problem and how can we improve. The thing about Dutch Lady is that we always constantly discussing on how can we improve this flexibility, new way of working, because we really embrace this new way of working.
Okay. Hello, I'm Mahuran from TalentCorp. Thank you, Dutch Lady, for the presentation, very comprehensive. My question is this regarding the staff performance appraisal. So how you connect, your policy of FWA in terms of the people, technology, and process? How you connect that with the staff performance? What kind of measurement tools, that you use in making sure that the productivity is not compromised? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, and in Prison Campina and Dutch Lady, we use a tool of in Horizon, where we, from the beginning of the year, we already discussed on what our goals are and what we want to achieve by the end of every quarter. So from that, how we measure is we all every month we have a one-on-one, or every twice a month we have a one-on-one session to keep, and we go through using the Horizon. We go through go through all the goals and the list of things that we already set to achieve. So with that, every month, or in a way, we get to keep track on the progress and on the performance and what need to improve, not just quarterly, but almost every week or every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Done? No supplementary question? I'm Nathan from the Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers. I'm the Vice President. So by now, after 2 questions, I think your anxiety and stress is over.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Recently, the government announced the amendment to the Employment Act, right, which allows employees to apply for flexible work arrangement. Has Dutch Lady implemented the new hours of work?
Yes, I think one of the things during the announcements of Employment Act is that most of the things that already proposed is actually already implemented in Dutch Lady. So in terms of working hours, in terms of paternity leave and all that, most of it are already being implemented. So the only new things that we announced to our employees is that we need to add all the posters about the sexual harassment, all the additional stuff that we haven't implemented. But otherwise, most of the working hours and all that is already implemented.
I hope they'll allow me to ask second question, right, based on what you have said.
Yeah.
It looks like your program is very matured program,
Mm.
right? Because you already had all the needs and requirements all along time, right? Is there any scope for further enhancement or improvement?
Yeah, I think because most of our feedback that we always get is like they are very keen for us to keep, with this model, and one of the things that maybe perhaps to improve is just the flexibility of you choosing the days that they want to come in and all, because nowadays because that's the only I wouldn't say issue, but that's the only thing that maybe they request more in terms of me. We do have 2 days, but actually they prefer more flexibility in terms of that. But in terms of hours at Dutch Lady, we don't have specific hours that you have to work and come in and go back. So it's already very positively received by our colleagues.
Okay, can I ask another question? This is what our colleague said, that you also confirm that it's a matured already in your company. So I'm asking whether are you prepared, to share, to share your best practices with other companies in Malaysia. You can see that in Malaysia there are hundred thousands of private companies, right, from GLC, MNC, and also MCA. So my question is, are you prepared? If we ask you to share those best practices to the respective sector.
I think based on the feedback that we always get, that we are more than willing to share with our other companies on these best practice, because we do believe it is one of the best practice. Because I believe like after all the MCO or a lot of restriction being lifted, a lot of company actually goes back to 3 days or 4 days of working. So what we do in DLMI and Christian company is actually we maintain this, because we see the positive from all these changes, and how our employees actually adapt to all these changes quickly. So yeah, we are willing to share this to others.
Do you have more time or less? We have
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, share with us what the challenge, one challenge that you face when you implement this.
One of the challenges is to actually get initially is to actually get people on time. To actually follow. One of the things that we introduced is just the Focus Friday, because everyone is so used with having meetings back to back. So one of the main challenges is to actually implement. Okay, the company has encouraged people to don't have any meetings after Friday afternoon, but it takes some time for people to adapt, especially the managers and all, because we need to tie up all the loose ends before the end of the week. So that's one of the main challenges. I would say we can implement okay, everyone after 12 don't do any meetings, but yeah, it takes time for us to adapt. And I think after 2 years, it's very well received, and I think now more people are aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadira. Alright, we're going to move on to Randstad again, so we're going to do it online. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and then you can start sharing your screen.
Hi, could I check if Cheyenne is the one sharing the screen from her side?
Yeah, so are you able to... Hi, Alistair, Cheyenne here. Are you still unable to share your screen with us?
Looks like it, because right now I'm trying to share my screen, but it's the same issue.
Alright, so we might have to coordinate a little bit here, so we will have to help you to manage your screen over here, that we will flash your slide on our screen while you do your presentation. When you need us to move on to the next slide, could you please just say next, then we move on to the next slide.
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much.
All right, so just give us a few seconds to bring up your presentation slide.
All right, you're able to start now.
Thank you. Cool. I'm just looking at the screen from your presentation, right? Like speaker view.
Yes, so we have the presentation on our screen, and we can hear
Okay,
you.
great. Thank you. So afternoon, everyone, and so sorry for the technical issues here. So my name is Alistair. I'm the Regional Corporate Communications and Employer Branding Manager at Randstad. So I'll be giving this presentation on behalf of Randstad Malaysia, which is one of the markets that I cover. So if you could go to the next slide. So when we have our new CEO on board with us last year, we've created an aspirational statement that says that we want to become the world's most equitable and specialized talent company. So on that note, all of our employees are either assigned or they have chosen a specialty right from the start of their careers with us, so that they can provide more customized solutions to our clients and to one another in Malaysia. So we have sort of designed our working environment to help support their growth and help further deepen the nation's human capital agenda and attract world-class professionals in Malaysia. So go to the next slide, please. So we have grown quite a fair bit. Our financial statements were just announced last week or 2 weeks ago. Our revenue, placement, and corporate employee numbers have actually all increased over the last year. Currently in Malaysia, we have about 65 corporate employees who are actually currently based in the gardens or working from home. So to go to the next slide. And all of our 65 consultants in Malaysia, they look after these specialized areas that you can see on the slide. So within the functional areas of expertise, we also break it down by industry. So these are the industries where we have a very deep specialization in and a proven track record of identifying and matching talent. So to go to the next slide. So during lockdown, a lot of the support that we have given to our communities and society have been done online. And I'll go through some of the new initiatives that we have started last year. The next slide, please. So on a global level, we have partnerships with UNICEF and voluntary service overseas. Prior to COVID, a lot of the voluntary services overseas initiatives were done in person, where Randstad employees can travel around the world to help build communities and educate the local communities so that they can gain a footstep in the world of work. With the lockdowns, we have extended our partnership with DSO to provide volunteering activities remotely, and also through our partnership with UNICEF, we provide dollar match volunteering funds, donations to Ukraine, and most recently the emergency relief funds for the earthquake victims in Turkey. The next slide, please. So closer to home, we have a very big involvement or commitment into ED and IB, equality, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. The Women and You Global Employee Charter is actually based in Asia and managed out of Malaysia, Japan, India, and Singapore. So we do see a lot of this Global Employee Charter tend to be based where the headquarters is based, but for us, we decided to choose Asia because of the diversity of the region, and each of us have a different focus of where we need to raise women into the workforce. We also established our ED and IB team because we do recognize that the differences between countries and cultures, we do need a local team that looks after and support the minorities in Malaysia. Female leadership-wise, 67% of all of our employees are women, and 50% of our senior leadership positions are held by women. To the next slide, please. So in terms of flexible work, this is where we get into the dirty details, but to the next slide. So since the pandemic, we have enjoyed greater work-life balance because we really haven't gone back to the office just yet in full time, unless we really miss each other or when there's an office event where they need to participate in person, like such as awards or competition. We've launched an internal social media platform called Connect that connects our employees globally. So somebody in Malaysia can speak to somebody who's based in Netherlands. We have an online peer recognition program that is available on mobile. So our employees give points to one another and receive cash and vouchers. 68% of our employees in Malaysia has benefited from that. And because we are working from home, a lot of our employees have helped found pets. They are forever homes in Malaysia as well. And to the next slide.
Thank you. It's been 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Sure, no problem.
So we'll be doing the questions now. The microphone is going to be given to the judges. Please let me know if you can hear them.
If you don't mind, can you run the slides until the end?
Are you able to hear the judges?
Yes, I'm able to.
Perfect.
Okay. 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 Alisa, thank you very much for your presentation on behalf of Randstad. My first question is regarding the culture and the mindset. Can you share with us, how you how the companies put it into the culture of FWA into the workforce, and also the change of the mindsets to deliver the work. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So actually, the company has gone digital way before COVID. So we actually work from home in February 2020. Digital tools wise, in terms of performance metrics, and anonymous employee surveys, they have all been digital. Employee surveys are done every 2 months with everyone inclusive, including the interns. In terms of the manager managing their teams, they all use Google Meets all the while. And we are only required to go back to the office if there is a need to. Otherwise, most of the people actually work from home. Sorry, did I hear a follow-up question? Yes?
Thank you, Alistair. Machiel here. So could you say, in your view, what is the most innovative aspect of your flexible working arrangement at Randstad?
I would say the most innovative aspect of it is we do recognize that people don't like to be stuck in one place, even if we count the office as one place or their home as one place. We introduced this program called the Workaway program last year, where employees can actually work anywhere around the world if they would like to extend their travel plans or if they are back home visiting their family. It's to the extent of like them not needing to even be based in Malaysia if they want to make work part of their travel plans, so that they can actually go for longer breaks.
Hi, Alistair.
Hi, afternoon.
You're very lucky you don't have to face us.
I'm okay.
Anyway, going back to your dashboard, giving some data, I realized that you mentioned you have something like about 6,766 employees. Are they all in your payroll or clients' employees?
So the 6,766 employees are corporate employees across Asia Pacific. Across Asia Pacific, we are also counting in employees who are based in Singapore, Australia, India, Japan, and China.
Okay, right. And are you a unicorn company?
No, we are not a unicorn company. We are established back in 1960. We are currently the largest recruitment firm in the world.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask you, okay, since you implemented the work-life balance for your employees, did you manage to reduce turnover of employees?
I would say yes. In fact, the company has grown by 15 to 20% in headcount just over the last year. So companies are hiring. We need more hands on deck, and I would say, on average, we have reduced the attrition rate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Maybe if there's time, we can see if there's a question from the audience also.
Sorry, no time.
No time? Oh, okay. Clear. Then we move on.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Alistair, for the presentation. Now we're going to move on to Standard Chartered Bank Malaysia, which will be presented by Connie Chu. Thank you.
It's not ready, right? Is it ready? Wow, this setup made me feel very nervous. That reminds me my school days, uni days, right? Many years back.
Many years back?
Many years. 10 years not enough.
Guess my age.
Guess my age. Better not, better not. Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, thank you so much to Sunway University for organizing this wonderful session. So I'm Connie Chu. I'm representing the service delivery of Standard Chartered Bank. And guess how long I've been with the bank? So I've been with the bank for 18 years. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the flexible working arrangement. So in Standard Chartered, right, I must say I'm proud to share with you that Standard Chartered actually has launched a flexible working arrangement since 2018. Yeah, even before the pandemic actually hit us. So we already have the robust process, policy, even technology, right, to support our employees to work remotely or from home. Yeah. So because we recognize that there's a need to support the future sustainability. And also, there's a way also for us to retain and to motivate our talent and also to support their well-being. This is what they want, right? So we hear them, that's why we have actually launched it in 2018. So when we launched this program, right, we actually give the flexibility to employees for them to choose where they want to work and when they want to work, right? Of course, they're also bound to certain rules and regulations. They cannot simply just say, I want to work today and tomorrow not to come to work. They'll get a letter from the ER, employee relation, right? So this is very much in line with our bank's value. That's where we are better together and never settle. And we always do the right thing. We think this is the right thing for employees to drive a better sustainability. So when pandemic hit us in March, I think, 2020, right? So for us, SCB or Standard Chartered Bank to transit or to move into the pandemic is seamless. We really had no issue to move into that because we were ready. Yeah, in terms of process, in terms of technology, we really had no issue. Unlike some of my counterparts in other banks, right? At that time, they're still busy looking for laptops, busy to set up the processes and all that. But for Standard Chartered, we really don't have that issue. It's seamless. The transition is so seamless, right? So during the pandemic also, we do have support like this EVP, employee value EVP and all that. We do provide all this well-being initiative to support our employee while they're working from home for better mental that. So in fact, in our recent survey, or we have My Voice survey, or it's an engagement survey, from the employee voice, it tells us, right, they really like this sort of working arrangement. With it allows the flexibility and the trust. Most importantly, is the trust that the bosses has empowered to them for them to work remotely from home and also from office, right? So in fact, from the statistics, right, 81% of them, they say they think that this approach, okay, they can work very effectively, and also 72%, they are actually very happy. They have the choice, so-called the choice to work flexibility, yeah. And our employee promoter score has increased by 26% as a result of this launch, right? It's a fantastic, I would say, it's a fantastic outcome on that. So some of the benefits as a result of this FWA, right, is that the cost, like electricity cost, has reduced quite a fair bit. Yeah, the water, and in fact the coffee supply that also has reduced to some extent, because I think less people, all right, they coming to office, right? So the take-up rate, I think at the highest take-up rate for flexible working arrangement was 70% at one time. Yeah. Especially during the pandemic. That's the highest that we hit. Okay, so another highlight that I want to share with you, as I mentioned earlier, our tagline is that we never settle, and we always feel that what is the right thing to do. So in our recent survey again, we're hearing from our employees what exactly they want. So they told us they want more flexibility. I want more, right? It's not enough, they want more. So what we have done is that, in fact, before I come to these sessions, right, I've just launched this enhanced version of flexible working arrangement. What's the enhanced version? The enhanced version actually gives more flexibility for employees to work, to choose where they want to work. Is it from the office or from anywhere else? And also the flexible in terms of hours. Yeah, you have to work 5 days, but you have that flexibility to work not necessarily 8 hours per day. If you think that this 8 hours is too, I'm not, you have a choice to choose that, or flexibility to choose, I want to work 4 hours a day. But the next day, 8 hours, the following day, 10 hours, as long as I comply with 40 hours in a week. So we give that flexibility. And also, we also give them one thing, what they are looking for is a one-time payment. Because I just want to share with you. The one-time payment is the 770 USD. It's for them to transit transit into the home setup arrangement, meaning that we give them this cash or pay you cash, you have the flexibility to set up your own home office. Yeah, and that's a good thing that we actually top up the tax at 30%. So a lot of employees actually are very happy, they're very excited and looking forward for this enhanced version of flexible working arrangement. Yeah, and that will be launched in June. That's all.
Alright, thank you, Standard Chartered, for the presentation. I remember before I want to close one of my accounts, yeah, my banking account, I consider whether I want to close Standard Chartered or not. But luckily, I decided not, and actually I like your service.
Thank you so much for staying with us.
Okay, a question about the FWA. Okay, this is related to the mental illness. You know that the recent budget also, government spend a lot of, will give a lot of money on the mental illness. So apart of that, can you share your mental illness policy in your place, and also is there a case? How many cases of mental illness that you have at the moment?
Okay. Yeah, I think in terms of number of cases, I wouldn't say it's high. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's high. But in terms of support, what support that we are giving to our employees, right? That is, we have the EVP, Employee Value Program, and also we also partner with AIA. AIA, we have the Vitality.
where we encourage people, right, to go exercise, or even to reach out to a doctor, talk to us. There's an online doctor for them to talk to, right? But the other thing that we are going to, which I not announced to my employee yet, but I actually give you that is that in our coming insurance with AIA, we are going to enhance the coverage or to extend the coverage to cover mental health, because we know this is up and coming, right? This is a very important for employees. So therefore, we also here for them. So we actually, sort of improve or enhance our mental coverage. Yeah.
Thank you, Standard Chartered. I also wanted to ask a bit about the prioritization of health and safety. You mentioned a bit on the mental well-being as well. How does safety come into this? How do you promote health and safety, especially in the workplace using flexible work arrangements?
Yeah, in this enhanced, this is an enhanced version. What we do that we work very closely with our property guy. We actually refurbish or redesign our workplace, to make it more more connect section. Yeah, if the employee are actually encouraged or enticed to come back to office, right, to reconnect and to re-socialize with our colleagues on that. So really we spend a lot, to refurbish our workplace to make it more sexy and attract them to come back.
Wow. Now we all want to work at Standard Chartered.
Yeah.
Hi, Standard Chartered. I've been a very long time customer of Standard Chartered Bank.
Thank you so
It's
much.
a very objective panel, by the way.
I would have thought that you would have mentioned the big, strong, and friendly slogan, right?
Bold.
Unless you came at a time and they dropped that.
Yeah, I'm not that, not that.
Okay, okay, all right. Now, with the digitization of many of banking activities, there could be a lot of feeling of stress, anxiety about job losses. Right? So how do you cope with this kind of situation?
I mean, for our
employees,
employees, right?
Yeah.
So we do provide a lot of, the support that I mentioned earlier, but the EVP and also a series of wellness program that we are promoting to employees. But last but not least, is also we are promoting our employees to upskill themselves. You need to reskill and you need to upskill themselves and look for opportunities. Because in Standard Chartered, we do have a talent marketplace where you can just go in and look for opportunities. You think that your role is average, right? So there are plenty of opportunity out there for you to reach out. So we have that platform for our employees. And also, this year also we're continuous driving reskilling, upskilling. Yeah, we have a target, that we want to reach. Yeah, because we prepare for them for the future.
Okay, thank you. I think we have to move on. Yeah. Thanks so much, Senator.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to move on to Unilever Malaysia with Melanie Wang. I'm going to set up your presentation for you.
Before I start, is it okay if I just check the audio is shared because we have a video and I also it's shared as well, right? The audio for the.
It should be. If she says something, you can try, but you don't need.
No, I think the audio of the presentation is shared as well.
Yeah, it should be. If you can try and stay over here, we can see. So the audience can.
Okay, I'll try my best because I have the tendency of walking around. Thank you. Alright, hi everybody, I'm Malini, together with my head of HR, Evelyn, who's dialing in today, exactly showing you live of our flexible working arrangement. So, today we are going to define to you what flexibility means to us in our uniquely Unilever way. And first thing first, allow me to then go into our journey of future of work. We started looking at the evolving workforce and workplace. Starting is then that for the business ambition in mind, we had two problem statements that we wanted to solve. First things first is how do we enable our people to bring their best self to work? And secondly as well, how do we ensure the key employee moments that matter to them, enable them to bring the best self? So, in this model of us, is actually we didn't want to just look at the working arrangement, but we wanted to look at as well the holistic end-to-end employee moments that matter, which essentially starting off from the infrastructure itself to the benefits or even the culture that day-to-day we live and breathe in the office. So, with that being said, coming to the first practice, and exactly today I'm going to spend a little bit more time with you sharing exact examples and exact practice that has brought this to life. So first thing first, how does it work for us on the flexible working arrangement? In our terms, we call it the hybrid ways of working. So we go by this formula of 2 + 2 + 1. I think it's a very similar practice where we have a balance of connecting, collaborating, and celebrating in the office physically. And also there are times that work from home for whatever that you need for focus work. Essentially, we also want to ensure this gives a balance of both empowerment and flexibility for our people, but also not to compromise on the accountability and the consistency that people ask for. You heard me right. People ask for it. Essentially, this is where this 2 + 2 + 1 doesn't just come out anywhere, but coming from a bottoms-up view for our people. We actually engage a focus group where essentially they come together from different representative of function, different representative of diversity, essentially to come together, and we call them our change champions to co-create the solutions. So, with that, allow me to then share with you some of the other key factors that has made them really successful hybrid ways of working for us. First thing first, on the office, we have consciously made our office having the ratio of collaboration spaces much higher as compared to individual working zone. From a benefits perspective, we were able to reinvest. Business like the word reinvest because it means zero cost to the business. Reinvesting to what used to be a 5-day commute to work into something that is more hybrid or flexible for people to use it, be it setting up a better monitors at home, be it setting up a better ergonomic chair for your house. Essentially, as an employer, we know by today, we are unable to give and fulfill whatever allowance that we want to give to our employees. It's never enough. It's also essentially, instead of giving more and more money, how do we unlock it creatively to say how can we unlock the dollar value of the amount that we give you for allowance? Which for Unilever, we have an example of corporate partnership. And for instance, let's say if you want to buy an ergonomic chair and you buy from a new, and once we strike up the corporate partnership, you get a discounted price as Unilever Malaysia. So, last but not the least, culture. It comes from not just the top of the leadership team modeling, but also every individual in the company to play a role. To the extent by giving a practice like Focus Friday, I think similarly we also have that, giving the guidance of how Focus Friday should be, like even to the extent of hybrid meeting etiquette 101. It helps people to realize and also practice day to day. So, that comes to my final point, which is that you might ask, Mel, does it yield great results for you? Essentially, today I'm thrilled to share with you the positive feedback from our employees and also our very promising business results. Essentially, to recap the 2 points I had at the beginning, is truly co-creating with them what matters for our people, and essentially also understanding the holistic view of the end-to-end employee experience that matter for them. Which that comes to my final example that I'm going to share with you today, live, which is exactly a material that we share with our employees to create the excitement of the hybrid ways of working. If I may.
Oh, we can fly.
To visit us in our hybrid office. Essentially, this is really one example, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And thank you so much once again. We are from Unilever Malaysia.
Okay, thank you, Unilever Malaysia. Is it? Okay, I'm still thinking actually what product that you are that I use at home.
Sure. As you can see, probably for us, our products that you probably know will be Dove, Magnum in the ice cream space, and we have Rexona with the deodorant space. And I think you probably heard of our products, but not necessarily our mother company. Yes.
Okay, so talking about the implementation of FWA, I believe that you have also a manufacturing part, right? The factory part, right? So this FWA is actually applied to the office.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Maybe
So I relate to my question is the connect, the collaborate and the celebration. So how you do that between office and also the factory?
Sure. And also at the same time, not to forget my head of HR on the call.
Alright.
So I will also invite her. Maybe if you want to give it a go, and I'll chip in after that. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Hello everyone, this is Evelyn here. So I'm head of HR for Malaysia, Singapore, Unilever Malaysia and Singapore. And thanks a lot for the question. Maybe just to share, like for us in Malaysia, actually we don't have a manufacturing facility, so it's only a headquarters facility. So for us, in terms of bringing that culture to life, in terms of connect, collaborate, and celebrate, I would say, so there isn't so much of an issue between, say, the blue collar and also the white collar employees. So I do hope that helps to also clarify.
Yeah. I think also just to add on to that, to give you a very quick example of how we have actually split. So in essence, we don't have manufacturing, but we do have Salesforce. Salesforce, if you think about it, the best time to use their time is really 5 days in the field instead of being 3 days, 2 days. And which essentially then we split off the framework to see what exactly that you need on the job in order to decide whether which framework will work best for you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Could you say something about the satisfaction rate of the employees and also how you measure success of the specific flexible working arrangement?
Yes. So essentially, this is our annual company survey. We call it the Univoice, which look at then there are different dimensions, and we look at engagement, well-being, safety. Then that particular engagement, and this is the exact question that we asked on the survey, and 90% of them that has responded to be positive about it. So that's how we measure on a year-on-year basis.
And this is a different question, right?
This is the exact question of I'm proud to say I work for Unilever. So this is one dimension that people answered accordingly on the survey.
You don't specifically mention the satisfaction of the flexible work arrangement.
Yes, we do have a separate survey to it. We call it the sort of hybrid ways of working, but we tie it together with the facilities. So in order to also ask whether the air condition or is the office toilets, etc., is also part of the survey question that we ask overall. So then from there we yield a bit of the result of further feedback. If you had anything to further add on.
No, maybe just to add on, right? So on top of that, the yearly Univoice of People Engagement surveys. Actually, on a monthly basis, there's something that we call a pulse survey as well, which a much smaller sample size, but it's just to ensure that then we also get always on feedback as well. So that's one channel. Another channel, which especially early on when we implemented flexible work arrangement, was also something that we call the Change Champion Network, where we actually then appointed representatives from each function to come together to ensure that then feedback is being collected in terms of what's working, what's not working. Similarly, we also constantly collect feedback from the line managers, because I think productivity is really from the day-to-day work, right? And I think so far everyone is actually quite happy with that arrangement. I think at the start when we actually implemented this, we actually opened up a survey to ask everyone if they actually wanted to fully work from home, and actually most people have actually said they would prefer 2 to 3 days, and that's exactly what we have brought to life.
Yeah, this is the example that she was referring to of the survey that we wanted. So that falls into the majority of the 49% here, where that's why it forms a 2 plus 2 plus 1. And it gives a certain guidance for our people, because people really want a certain consistency in the practice.
Lina, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Before you were known as Leo Brothers, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now I see very impressive results. Yeah, you have achieved a 14.5% increase in turnover. Very outstanding, right? Are you attributing this to the flexible work arrangement?
Oh, yeah, even you want to go first and all that, yeah, just sure.
Sure. So thanks a lot for the question. So I think for us, in terms of the success of the company, what we would attribute it to is really then the end-to-end holistic employee experience. So the flexible work arrangement is one part of it, but we always believe that we actually need to have a more holistic view of it, right? So on top of the hybrid work arrangement, ensuring that all our policies are also equally updated as well to actually support this arrangement. So an example is then that last year we kickstarted the journey to go towards full-fledged flexible benefits, so employees can actually choose what kind of benefits that will work best based on their lifestyle, based on their persona. So that's another part, and that another sort of supporting factor of the whole flexible work arrangement. So I would say it's not just hybrid per se, but it's really that end-to-end that we try to give people from the hybrid arrangement, from the really nice office that we built, from having that personalization when it comes to benefits, and then lastly all those anchored through a culture that everybody is actually proud of. That I would say that really then that's what we attribute in terms of our success that we see today.
Yeah, if I may to just chime into the first point that I mentioned at the beginning, which is starting from the business. If you look at our business ambition itself, people sits in one of the biggest pillars. If you ask me, then this started off with thinking of people with purpose drive. And in Unilever, I think with similarly in a lot of organization, you take care of the people will take care of the business. Which essentially we wanted to make sure these people with purpose drive came on top of our mind when we look at the hybrid ways of working, not just to implement the working arrangement, but that end-to-end experience that they're gonna bring their best out.
Oh, I like that you are very much of a company person. Was that your boss online?
Yeah.
I think she should give you a promotion soon.
Yes, definitely a consideration.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Thank you everyone, thank you for all the participants. So due to unforeseen circumstances, we won't be having Tenaga here present today. Regrettably, they are dropped from the competition. So for all the audience, presenters, you can all go to the gallery now. There you can get some coffee, some tea. And then for the judges, we'll lead you to the judges room. Thank you everybody.
Yeah, so we go to the judges room. Okay, right. Judges room? Yes. Room as well?
Yeah, that's room. That will be the next session already. Yes.
Okay, all right. Yes,
Yes. I think I know.
Ja,